Good afternoon. This is the Board of County Commissioners meeting. It is Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. It is 2:03 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. I'm Carolina Mejia. I'm the chair of the board. To my right is Vice Chair Ty Menser. To my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards. Also in the boardroom, we have County Manager Ramiro Chavez, as well as the clerk of the board, Jamie Caldwell. We'll start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Vice Chair Menser.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Would you like to do a land acknowledgement, Vice Chair Menser?
Thank you. We'd also like to start today with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge and thank the Indigenous Salish peoples whose elders and ancestors have lived on and cared for the land and waterways of this county since time immemorial, and who still inhabit the area today, specifically the Squaxin Island, Nisqually, and Chehalis people, our sovereign tribal partners. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. The purpose of this acknowledgement is to disrupt ongoing erasure of injustices done and to remember history as a stepping stone towards healing.
Thank you. With that is the approval of the Tuesday, October 18th agenda. Is there a motion?
Move to approve proposed agenda for Tuesday, October 18th, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Menser?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. Next is the approval of the board meeting minutes from October 11th.
I move to approve board meeting minutes from October 11th, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menser?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. Today we have a presentation from Emergency Services, and it's a proclamation for Flood Awareness Week. Ben Miller, our assistant interim,
Interim director.
interim director, I'm never able to get the, for Emergency Services, is here to present on this item.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ben Miller Todd, the Interim Director for Emergency Services. It floods nearly every day of the year somewhere in the United States. On average, over the past 30 years, floods have claimed the lives of about 90 people annually and caused about $8 billion in damage, and this is annually. Floods are the most prevalent natural hazard in Thurston County, with 19 federally declared disasters since 1962, related wholly or in part to flooding. The citizens of our county should be educated and prepared for flood safety and property protection measures, and county agencies along with employees should be prepared to provide essential public services after disasters and be prepared to support the county's response and recovery mission. This week, Thurston County Emergency Management will be testing our emergency alert system. We encourage residents to make sure that they are signed up for TC Alert. So again, please sign up for TC Alert for those messages relating to natural disasters and other emergencies throughout the county. 7,549 flood bulletins were mailed to residents that live in the floodplains on October 7th, 2022, and you can find important information on the county website and social media sites. Thurston County's top-rated floodplain management programs have helped reduce flood damage and encourage property owners and residents in flood hazard areas to obtain reduced flood insurance to be better prepared financially in case of flooding. With that, the goals of Flood Awareness Week are to inform the public about National Weather Service forecast and warning services, heighten public awareness to the risks associated with all types of floods, including flash floods, river floods, and those related to dam or levee failures, and empower citizens to take action necessary to protect their lives and livelihood. With that, we thank you for recognizing October 17th through the 22nd as Flood Awareness Week in Thurston County.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions, comments? Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, just thanks for bringing this to our attention because it's going to affect all of us at some point. Thank you, Ben.
Commissioner Menser, questions or comments?
No, thank you, Ben. County manager was mentioning that It's been dry, but we're looking for a La Nina winter, wetter.
I'm not ignorant of the fact that we just had a red flag warning this past weekend, and we're now asking for flood preparedness week. But in a normal year, if those exist anymore, we would be starting to prepare for a much rainier season, which is on the horizon.
Very good.
Thank you. I think it is timely, right? We had unprecedented floods that affected so many residents in January and February. So I'm ready for a proclamation, Vice Chair Menser.
Thurston County Proclamation, Thurston County Flood Awareness Week. Whereas Thurston County has experienced disasters in the past, and scientific evidence indicates the county remains vulnerable to natural and human-caused disasters in the future. And whereas loss of life and property damage can be significantly reduced if residents are prepared for disasters, including readiness to be self-sufficient for a minimum of 2 weeks, and take appropriate measures before, during, and after a disaster. And whereas floods are the most prevalent natural hazard in Thurston County, with 19 federal disaster declarations since 1962 related wholly or in part to flooding. And whereas the residents of our county should be educated and prepared for flood safety and property protection measures, and county agencies along with employees should be prepared to provide essential public services after disasters and be prepared to support the county's response and recovery mission. And whereas Thurston County promotes that residents obtain disaster-related information through the county's alert notification system, fact sheets, training, the annual Thurston County Flood Bulletin, the county website and social media sites, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association Weather Radio, which includes emergency alert system broadcasts. And whereas Thurston County's top-rated floodplain management programs and hazard mitigation strategies have helped reduce flood damage and encourage property owners and residents in flood hazard areas to obtain reduced flood insurance to be better prepared financially in case of flooding. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of County Commissioners hereby proclaims the week of October 17th, 2022 as Flood Awareness Week in Thurston County, State of Washington, and urges all residents to take steps to prepare for the impacts of natural and human-caused disasters in their homes, businesses, and schools, adopted this 18th day of October 2022 by the Board of County Commissioners.
Go for a picture. Hey, Ben, let's get a picture.
You should stand over the top.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. That will conclude our presentation for today. Next is an opportunity for the public to address the board. Now, I wanted to let the public know that there is a public hearing at 3:30 p.m. for the suspension of the operations of Hopkins Drainage District. That will start at 3:30 p.m. So if you're here for that, we will be taking public comment for that at that time. The Board of Thurston County Commissioners welcomes comments from the public. However, there are some guidelines governing such comments to ensure they are appropriate and do not take advantage of the fact that most meetings are televised. The general speaking guidelines are as follows. Please introduce yourself, including the address you reside in the county. Please address the board, not the audience or staff. Please silence your cell phones for those members in the boardroom. Speakers are limited to a total of 4 minutes to address the board. Meeting attendees cannot donate their speaking time to another person. No comments that are lewd and offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No outbursts of any kind. No comments that are commercial in nature, such as promotion of a for-profit business. All materials provided to the county may be considered public records, subject to public release upon request, pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 4256 of the RCW. And no remarks about pending land use permits or similar matters that could eventually come before the board on appeal, and no electioneering. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Now, with that, I will read those people who have signed up, and if you didn't get the chance to sign up, I'll give you the opportunity to go, and then we will move on to Zoom. First person I have on the list is John Pettit.
Good afternoon, commissioners. I'm going to start out with that again. Good afternoon, commissioners. Our legislative body, and you are all elected here to represent the people of Thurston County. Not the county government. You're here to represent us citizens, us property owners, us taxpayers. I bring that up because, as you may be aware, I'm certainly hot on a certain topic right now, and that has to do with this mitigation fees and habitat conservation plan that you're seeking to be moving forward. I don't think in the 377 pages that happens to be there, which I doubt any of you have actually completely read it, and I unfortunately memorize things, so I go through a lot of difficulty. It makes me lose sleep at night sometimes. But you're here to represent the people. That means me as a property owner, you're here to represent me. You're not here to rule over me. And in this particular case, the habitat program is fundamentally flawed to begin with by the fact that you are causing property owners to pay for utilization of the property they own. You're going to charge them if they want to use their property. Now, I know this is a hard concept necessarily for city people, but country people don't want to live on a city-sized lot on their 5 acres or 10 or 20 acres. They want to live on their entire property. The concept of, well, if you just make your little tiny envelope here, we won't charge you as much. Well, the charges are multitask, and I had tracked Mr. Edwards down and provided him some example properties that I think you should get some numbers on to see what type of fees would really be charged, because you don't get just, it's not just the gopher people, it's the frogs, it's the butterflies, it's the sparrows. It's everything on that list. And if you happen to have 2 or 3 of these particular items, in theory, you could be paying, if you just wanted 1 acre's worth, $90,000 just to be able to utilize your own property. Is that what representing us means? That you think we should do that? If this is truly something in the general county interest, the tax process or the way you're going to collect that $125 million over the next 30 years should be for general Thurston County. It should be done on the basis of, I'm opposed to it in general, but it can be voted on, 1/10 of a cent sales tax. That would raise more money than what this program is designed to do right now. But right now you're putting all the burden, the total cost of the burden upon people, and you're saying, pay me the money up front or you don't get to do your project. In fact, it is so wide open for discretionary judgment on the part of some staff person there. Some people may have to pay and some may not. I like that person, so I kind of look this way. I don't have to charge them. That person's but I want to charge them big time. And then there's always development fees. You haven't even entered into how much that's going to be. You need to rethink how you're going to move forward with this program and represent the people. Thank you.
Next is Terry Stanley Ballard.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Terry Ballard. I have 2 properties in unincorporated Thurston County, Tanglewild, and 1 in the city of Olympia. Good afternoon. I wanted to cover some things that I heard a commissioner report while he was campaigning. I will caution everybody to report truthfully because you're still a commissioner. And if you report falsely, that's a gross misdemeanor by RCW 42.20.040. Contributing rent to maintain the facility is given from a department and all departments in this courthouse. Central Services is in charge to maintain the facility. The MIG study, which was fixing and maintaining the property, was deferred with $26 million. They didn't fund Central Services as required in the MIG study, and guess who's in charge of Central Services? That would be your very own Assistant Manager, Robin Campbell. The road fund, it was reported by Commissioner Menzer that the road fund was used in the general fund. That's a no-no. The unincorporated fund is the road fund. You can defer some dollars over into the safety, but you can't defer safety as far as the police, but you cannot defer it to to another course of action. You took millions out of the road fund, $4 million. You were supposed to maintain 100 miles of road, but you ended up maintaining 42 miles of actual road, and then you ran out of the road fund, and now you need more. I wonder why. The REIT 1 and REIT 2 funds are designated for use by state law. REIT 1 and 2 funds belong to the unincorporated Thurston County. As falsely reported by Mr. Menzer over there, he reported that REIT 1 funds were used for general fund. No, they're not. REIT 1 funds are for unincorporated improvements, and REIT 2 funds are for infrastructure. All the incorporated cities have REIT 1 and REIT 2 funds. Why are we using REIT 1 or REIT 2 funds for use in the general fund? Okay, $45 million of bonds fixing up a courthouse. I just mentioned that we should have been maintaining the courthouse all along by the rents paid by all the departments here in the building and next door. And we ended up with $45 million of bonds to fix up a courthouse, charged to the unincorporated people, and that should be coming out of the general fund. Okay, and this is to build a law and justice center. Each one of the departments are responsible for renting their space. Who's going to rent the space for the Law and Justice Center? Okay, is the court going to do that, or are the people going to do that? Okay, I don't think it should be the court. It should be one of the departments here on site. 3000 Pacific. Okay, that's where you paid $5 million to fix up a building that's owned for a $4 million building that belongs to a multimillionaire. Guess where those funds came from? That would be unincorporated Thurston County. It's my understanding that the seat is still here. The seat's not down at 3000 Pacific, okay? They can put satellites down here, but the seat still arises here, okay? Here in the building, not 300 Pacific, okay? I still don't understand why we're paying for a Lake District when I'm sorry, I'll finish my sentence. When the lakes belong to state. Thank you.
Next, I have Barry Halverson.
Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners. My name is Barry Halverson from the Lake Lawrence Lake Management District. I'd like to preface my comments today by saying that what I heard prior to this meeting is encouraging. I appreciate the effort, and I look forward to the conversation. Last week, I ran short of time discussing Public Works admin rules, and I will continue from where I left off. You have received at least 24 letters from Lake Lawrence and members, 3 of our 4 HOA boards, unanimously in opposition to the Public Works admin rules. And that's just the ones that they copied me on. I don't know how many they didn't. The 4th HOA is waiting to complete their annual meeting before sending you a letter. This represents over 70% of all LMD members opposing these rules. Those are just the ones that have responded to you. Long Lake LMD members have yet to engage in this conversation because they don't have the outreach program that we have at Lake Lawrence. Once they find out about these rules, don't expect them to be silent on the issue. The newly forming LMDs did not accept the admin rules because they agreed with them. They were told they had to accept them in order to move forward through the process. That is a huge difference. Twisting arms to obtain compliance is not good governance. Commissioners, have you had the chance, this is a facetious question, to read the 2021-2022 State of Lake Lawrence report that we sent to you on 3 October? If you haven't, I would strongly encourage you to do so. Those 6 pages cover a lot and demonstrates the effectiveness of our work plan and vegetation control efforts over the years. It shows a reduction in chemical usage over those years. It shows you volunteer activities, 120 hours plus during the past year cleaning up Thurston County undeveloped park, 10 hours assisting county health and social services, 110 hours assisting county noxious weed efforts in controlling yellow flag iris, 110 hours to restore Goat Island, 6 hours in support of a NASA-sponsored global lake monitoring program, and untold hours in education and outreach to all community members. None of these are activities of an advisory board. An advisory board would do none of this. They are the activities of a steering committee that is proactive and physically engaged in improving and monitoring water quality. An advisory board is not. This is the same for the newly forming LMDs. The work, activity, leadership, financial fundraising, obligations a lake goes through to form a lake management district are not advisory board actions. They are steering committee actions. 95% of the issues our LMDs experience can be tied directly back to the budget process that violates the core intent of RCW 3661. I will reiterate once again, no other jurisdiction in the entire state charges indirect and direct interfund charges to their LMDs. Most charge no FTE cost. Why? Because all other jurisdictions but Thurston County understand the intent of the RCW, understand the value LMDs bring to protecting our lakes, and understand their role in improving that valuable resource by allowing all assessment dollars paid for by those LMD members to go directly to lake stewardship. We have provided you actual budget reports from all of the LMDs in the state and continue to provide you that information as new LMDs are formed. For example, Spanaway Lake and Pierce County formed this year. That information we provided you last week. I'll conclude by saying thank you for your time and efforts moving forward, and we look forward to the conversation. Thank you.
Next, Jack Grimes.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Jack Grimes. I live on 76th Avenue Northeast. I'm a 45-year resident of Thurston County, and today my issue is with your budget and the budgeting process. There was, on the website, there is a choice for what to do with a budget surplus for this year, and also an article in the paper. That surplus should be refunded to the taxpayers of the Thurston County and not used for other special interest purposes. The budgets that you continue to write and work with are creating hardships for the people in the county because of the increased costs that we face with other issues and the increase in taxes, and we need some help in controlling that. And we have to control our spending, so the county should be doing the same thing and not always looking for more money. As our county commissioners, you are our representatives, and the budgeting process should be looking for ways to reduce our tax burden. The current process appears to be designed to spend all the dollars that you can collect. The county needs to do a better job of managing their budget and holding their costs down. The county has several ways that you could help reduce taxes. My favorite one is that you join with the property owners in requesting that the state legislature put a limitation in what can be used by the assessors for the inflated values that our taxes are based on. That would require a state law change of RCW 84.40.030. There is a limitation in the millage, but not in how the values are calculated, and that is being abused by some assessors. As county commissioners, part of your job is to help all of the residents of the county. The county should stay within the revenue received and look for ways to cut taxes. One of the issues raised last week at the meeting was a discussion of funding for an area, a piece of property for the homeless people. An equal amount of money should be in that budget to help the people that own homes and are trying to stay in the homes, because the property tax becomes a huge component in the monthly payment, the ability for people to buy a home and be able to stay in their homes. Thank you for your time, and I wish you good luck with your budgeting process. I understand we still have some time to discuss it.
Thank you. Okay, that is the people who have signed up. I'm asking if anyone in the boardroom would like to provide public comment at this time. Mr. Talbridge? Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Brett Trowbridge, longtime Thurston County resident, 5911 Hanson Street Southeast, Olympia, Washington, which is on Addison Lake. The only reason I ever come here, as you know. The other day when I was speaking with Mr. Wilson, I'm talking 2 days ago, he relayed a message from you, Commissioner Menzer, and he said you conveyed the message you wanted me to know, that no one was going to kill anybody's lily pads or something to that effect. I think that's a breakthrough here. I'm trying to establish here today, as I have many times before, that the bottom of Pattison Lake belongs to the adjacent owners, what's called the riparian owners, in pie-shaped sections out to the middle. Therefore, when you say you're not going to kill anybody's lily pads, every lily pad in the lake belongs to somebody other than the state of Washington, except the ones off the boat launch. And so it's going to be a job to not kill anybody's lily pads, because you're going to have to get their permission, all the ones that you didn't even have on the map, like mine. So it seems like that's a major problem. On the front page here, I have a phone number, Sean Unican in DOE, that's his phone number. He's the person who is going to control these applications you're going to be making for aquicides, algicides, and herbicides. I had several questions for him, including, first of all, what if some properties have been left out? Do you have a way of dealing with that? And he said, well, you just draw the map so that those properties are left out. And I also brought up, of course, what about if you have a lake where the bottom of the lake is owned by the riparian owners? Can you give somebody a permit to kill lily pads that don't belong to you? We had a really long and interesting discussion. I don't think I've got time to give it all to you here, but I'd really encourage you to call him. I think there's some pretty good arguments there. Now, I've sort of changed my position. I was against this project all the way. I wanted to kill it. That's still where my heart is. But I understand that there's significant people who were for this project, and they've spent a lot of time working to try to get it. What I propose happens is that we all sit down and negotiate this map. That's what's not been provided yet. You came up with a map that shows which properties are included, but not which ones would be treated. That's the absolute thing we need now. That's the next step. Now, I've been excluded from a lot of stuff, but that's water over the dam. But I'd sure like to be included in the drawing up of this map. And I also believe Mrs. Lowe would too, and I'd certainly invite her and Mr. Wilson, and I thought Ms. Cracknell, but I hear she's not even working here anymore. Side issue there, how can she issue the name of what engineering company is going to be employed to do this whole project that's supposed to be named by her and her alone, but now she doesn't work here, but her last thing to do was to name this company, which I still haven't found out which one it is. Do you ever include anybody in any of your, I don't want to get into all that. What I'm offering is let's negotiate and let's do it in good faith and let's do it soon because you guys have promised you're going to start this project in 24. And you're not going to be able to do that if you don't work on these issues now. You've just been putting me off. Let me be involved with this stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. No? Anyone else? No? Okay. We'll move on to Zoom.
I'm going to be calling your name for those who are joining us via Zoom. But if you are here to provide public testimony related to the 3:30 public hearing on the Hopkins Drainage District, I may encourage you to wait until that time. But I will call your name just in case you'd like to provide testimony on any other matters this afternoon to the Board of County Commissioners. First, I have Ms. Tara Kimbrough. Next, I have Mr. Vince Cotone. Mr. Michael Woodland. Ms. Jill Reynolds. And next, I have Mr. and Mrs. Takahid Aso. They might be waiting for the 3:30, Madam Chair. That will conclude public testimony.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you to all of those who provided public testimony today. Moving on to County Manager's update.
I don't have any specific updates for you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions? No? Okay, so we'll move on to item 3 of the agenda, which is consent items. It's items 3A through 3D. Is there a motion? Oh, County Manager, would you like to?
Yes, you will be considering approving on a group. Just like to highlight that you added an item based on the conversation we had this morning, and that is the appointment of Dr. John Greiner to the Historic Commission for a 4-year term. That expires on October 18, 2026. That agenda item was added at your direction based on this conversation this morning.
Thank you. Any items that the commissioners would like removed from the consent agenda? Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve consent items 3A through 3D.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Department items, items 4A from the Auditor's Office. This is approval of the voucher list.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for your considerations to approve the voucher list for the week of September 12, 2022 for a combined amount of $1,775,715.42. The reason that this particular item is not in the agenda, consent agenda, but rather on the department item is because on page 24, we have expenses related to the atrium, and that is on the amount of $115,324.20.
Any questions? Commissioner Edwards?
No questions at this time, thank you.
Commissioner Menzer?
No.
Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
I I move to approve the voucher list for the week of September 12, 2022 for a combined amount of $1,775,715.42.
Is there a second? Oh, second. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Nay.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Item 5A from Emergency Services is FEMA Hazard Mitigation Firewise Grant D23-003. And Ben Miller-Todd will report on this item.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ben Miller-Todd, Interim Director, Emergency Services. Firewise promotes defensible space, ignition-resistant construction, and vegetation management to reduce flammable fuels around buildings. It is a National Fire Protection Association program designed to help communities and individuals be prepared by protecting their homes and businesses before wildland fires start. On average, Thurston County sees about 70 wildland fires per year. Most are handled by local fire departments, but there is potential for much larger incidents. Funding for this grant will bring 6 assessing wildfire hazards in the home ignition zone, train the trainer training workshops to Thurston County. The targeted audience will be local fire department personnel, homeowner associations, building associations, public works, landscapers, construction contractors, and planning departments. Emergency Management will be partnering with West Thurston Regional Fire Authority and Thurston Conservation District to host most of the Train the Trainer courses. Firewise will be incorporated into our public information and outreach efforts. We will encourage all our communities to be Firewise communities and take action in preparing and protecting their homes, businesses against threat of wildfire. The performance period for this grant will be from April 20th, 2022 through April 30th, 2024. The grant award is for $86,855.22 and is broken down by a federal contribution of $65,141.42, a state contribution of $10,856.90, and a like contribution to the states by local jurisdiction, by a local match. The local match will be met with partner agencies like West Thurston Regional Fire Authority, Thurston Conservation District, and Thurston County EM staff time for grant administration and reporting. We appreciate your support of this grant.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Edwards?
No questions, thank you.
Commissioner Menzer?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to approve and authorize the Interim Director of Emergency Services to sign the Hazard Mitigation Grant Contract for the Thurston County Firewise Award for a total grant amount of $86,855.22.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Moving on to information technology, item 6A, authorize the IT director to purchase a dedicated Lumen network circuit for Sheriff's Field Office Bureau. Dennis Osorio, IT director, will report on this.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Dennis Osorio, IT Director. I'm here seeking approval to enter into a 3-year agreement with Lumen for a 1 gigabyte Fiber Plus circuit for the Sheriff's Department out at New Market in the FOB location. The cost of the circuit is $1,015 a month with a $99 one-time installation fee for a total amount of $36,640 over a 3-year term. Currently, the current building has a microwave point-to-point dish, and it's a 100 megabyte connection. This new circuit will give it a 1 gigabyte connection, so it'll be a 10x improvement on what their current connectivity is. They're currently using all their connectivity right now, and with the launch of the new body camera project, they will need more bandwidth to continue to be successful. I believe the Sheriff's Department will pay for the first year, and the following years will be in the IT rates. Is there any questions?
Any questions?
I do have a question.
Go ahead, sir.
Is that payment going to be made all at one time or $1,000 a month or what?
It will be monthly, Commissioner.
It'll be, okay. And if you get a chance at about 3, could you give me a call? I have a call in to you.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Questions, Commissioner Menzer?
No, there was an extended discussion a week ago, this morning, so if folks wanted to hear more detail, that was when we discussed it.
Thank you. Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
I move to authorize the IT director to enter into a 3-year agreement with Lumen for 1 gigabyte Fiber Plus circuit at $1,015 a month with a $99 one-time install fee. Total contract amount of $36,640, which includes 10% contingency over a 3-year term.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Motion passes. Next is item 6B, renewal of OpenGov maintenance and licensing. Dennis, back to you.
Good afternoon. I'm here seeking authorization to continue our OpenGov maintenance and licensing contract for the amount of $53,479.09. And that is for up to 5 years. That's the yearly rate. We've used OpenGov over the past few years here at the county. We use it as a fiscal transparency tool, to develop our performance dashboards, to create stories, and also to gain community feedback. This is already in the IT budget and collected through the rates. And this is one of the ones we've seen before. This is just a renewal of our licensing and maintenance for this product.
Thank you. Any questions? Commissioner Edwards?
No, ma'am.
Commissioner Menzer?
No.
I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve the renewal of the OpenGov contract for current service extension and authorize the information technology director to pay the OpenGov maintenance in the amount of $53,479.09, and any amendments that do not exceed 10% for up to 5 years.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Edwards?
Aye.
Commissioner Menzer?
Aye.
Commissioner Mejia?
Aye. Thank you. That will conclude our department items. Moving on to item 7A, commissioners will report on board work sessions and assigned committee meetings, providing updates on actions taken as well as upcoming issues. Commissioner Edwards, we'll start with you.
No committee reports to advise my seatmates on. Just a lot of interaction with constituents in reference to the expansion of 5 commissioners from 3 to 5, from the Hopkins Ditch folks on the HCP, Lake Management District issues, and the meat processing plant and the airport. So quite a few issues, but no specific reports. Thank you.
Can I ask about the meat processing plant, what the questions or comments are?
When that might be taking place, I did have a good discussion with Steve Brumell, WSU representative, and I believe he's been in contact with you or your office on this topic, and with Pierce County, and the county manager gave a report on that. And the concern mainly from constituents is the location that this might be decided on, the location that might be placed.
Is it concern for wanting it in Thurston?
Yes. Oh, no.
Okay.
Everybody I talk to wants it.
I think just with conversations with Pierce County, I think they want it here too, so. But, you know, I think the study
Well, yeah.
will tell us the best location. And I know the mayor of Tenino has also said he would love it beside their agricultural park.
Maybe I can provide an update
Yes, sir.
on this. As I provided this morning to the board, I just signed an interlocal agreement with Pierce County, where the county will participate financially to issue a request for proposals, where we will find a consultant to help us determine the type, size, and location of this facility. By identifying the type, size, and location will give us an opportunity to see the magnitude. And I know the legislative, the region and the county, there is a need to pursue this, and hopefully that will give us the tools, the information that we need, how much it will cost, so we can approach the legislature as to how they can help us fund this in the long term.
Thank you.
More to come.
Thank you. Will that conclude? Okay, Commissioner Menser?
Lots of community events, Orca Recovery Day at Squaxin Park on Saturday, Senior Services for South Sound Saturday. Friday was Evergreen College Foundation event, Campaign for Equal Justice event, planting daffodils with Ralph Monroe and some kids from McLean Elementary School on Friday. In terms of constituent issues, airport, 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 and a little bit of Summit Lake, and then some more airport.
Yeah, that's, I attended the Lacey City Council work session on Thursday with County Manager Ramiro Chavez to discuss the redistricting and the expansion proposal that's on the ballot. And we answered some questions from them. I think the meeting went very well. I attended the mayor's meeting on Friday with Shannon Shula from Public Works. And as directed by the commission, we had a discussion in regards to what our next trail project is going to be. And I believe we have a follow-up on Tuesday in regards to that. And I think we came to some good middle ground proposal that we're going to be, Shannon's going to walk with the board. But she got a lot of good comment, and she did. I'm very thankful for Shannon. She did a great job.
Who was that meeting with?
It was with the mayors.
Okay.
The South County mayors.
I think all the mayors, right? Not
Well,
just
yeah, all the mayors, yeah. And then I attended the Evergreen State College Foundation event in the evening. And then in regards, I've been meeting with about different matters, but main thing I've been hearing about from constituent has been about the airport. I guess I want to say thank you to everyone who's reached out, taken the time to reach out. And we, just to update everyone, we did have a letter, and it was signed by all the mayors of Thurston County. And that's going to be posted on our website, I believe, pretty soon. And we've already sent it to all of our legislators here in Thurston County and let them know that we're all opposed. We have sent the letter to the Port of Olympia, and I believe they had some discussion about it yesterday, and they will be deciding next Monday on how they're going to proceed. So that's just an update in regards to the airport from the Board of Commissioners. Okay, with that, item 7B, the county manager will review the Board of County Commissioners schedule for the week of October 18th, 2022.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will walk you through your combined schedule where at least 2 commissioners will be present. You will have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. Here at 3:30 in the afternoon, you have a public hearing where you will be receiving public testimony related to the proposal to the suspension of the operations of the Hopkins Drainage District. Moving on to tomorrow, Wednesday, October 19th, at 9 in the morning, you have a briefing from the prosecuting attorney's office related to the data dashboard. At 10 in the morning, you have the state of the Thurston County Trails, Park and Trails. At 11, you have a briefing related to the Regional Housing Council structure, new structure or proposed structure, governance structure, that is. And at 2 in the afternoon, tomorrow, October 19th, you have a briefing related to a proposal of the boundary line adjustment, code amendment, followed by at 2:30 by the shoreline master program update. And at 3:30 in the afternoon, tomorrow, October 19th, you have a briefing on the Flood Awareness Week in Thurston County Lake Risk Map Project. Thursday, October 20th, at 7:30 in the morning, you have been invited to participate on the Thurston Thrives Elected Officials Breakfast. That is going to be located in the South Puget Sound Community College Lacey campus. And Commissioner Edwards and Commissioner Menser will be attending the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization virtual meeting at 1 in the afternoon on Thursday, October 20th. Friday, October 21st, you have been invited to participate on the South Thurston Economic Development Initiative meeting And at 1 in the afternoon, you have Board of County Commissioners Office staff retreat, where the commissioners will have the opportunity to show your pumpkin carving skills, if I may. And moving on to next week, Monday, October the 24th, the entire week except for Tuesday has been set aside for you to go through the budget deliberations, hoping that at the end of that exercise you make preliminary budget deliberations that will be taking the next steps in the process. But on Tuesday, October 25th, you will have your regular agenda setting at 9 in the morning, and you will have your Board of County Commissioners, which is the fourth Tuesday of every month at 6 in the afternoon in this room. And an agenda will be posted timely. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you. So next week, for those who wish to attend our Board of County Commissioners meeting, it is at 6 p.m. and you can join in person or via Zoom. And we will remember to unlock that door downstairs. Okay, with that, we will adjourn the Board of County Commissioners meeting. We will be picking up, if you're waiting for the 3:30 public hearing, the Zoom will be up and open for those wishing to attend, and we will start that at 3:30 p.m.
Yeah, and for those who are joining us via Zoom, please remain on the Zoom account. We will not close the Zoom, and we will resume when the board convenes at 3:30 with the same account. Thank you.
Thank you. We are adjourned.